Hi everyone, this is Chavigar, and today we are back with our tech podcast series. And today we have Alex with us. He is such an amazing person. He has truly amazing experience in Microsoft Azure. He is a chief software architect at Impro.ai, and also he is a Microsoft Azure MVP. So I welcome you, sir, into today's podcast.
Thank you. It's really great to be here.
I'm really happy to have you with us today, and it would be really amazing to first know about your Azure journey, how you get started with it, and also seeing the today's tech savvy teenagers would be happy to understand that like how you actually started the technology with. Was there any videos or was there just books you used to just mug up?
I started basically from some videos and some presentations I found online. The first thing that really amazed me was the fact that you don't really need a physical server and everything is online. Um, in the previous companies I worked at, we had actual physical servers, and it was really annoying. Like, going every time something happens, you need to actually go to the server and connect to it, or in some better places, you had the network connections that you can connect from afar, but it was still a physical server with all the downsides and all the annoying things. Um, so once I learned about Azure, the whole idea of cloud computing, it was amazing. Started looking for videos and presentations I found online, and just reading documentation. And slowly and step by step, found my way there.
That's amazing. That's actually a great thing that to understand about you. Now, I would be happy to understand that how you got into this truly amazing journey of Azure, and also what actually struck in your mind that you thought of giving so many contributions to Microsoft Azure. Like, what was that motivation? I would love to understand that as well.
I think the main thing that pushed me to really start with it was one of the project I was involved in. So no one really knew Azure on that project, so I had to step up and learn a bit. And I found that it wasn't as easy as everyone thought it was. The learning curve is really steep, and once you start, you really don't understand until something clicks in your brain. So I started, once it clicked in my brain, I started teaching it in my company, like helping others to understand, and just like, even in the corridor, small talk, I was used to just help people and provide some tips. And eventually I decided that there was an opportunity to give a lecture about something that I found just mind blowing at the time. It was about 5 years ago, and it was when Microsoft just announced cognitive services. So you could just send a picture and get back a result of what you see in the picture with computer vision. And at the time, it was so mind blowing, so amazing. And I decided I must tell it to as many people as I can. So there was an Azure bootcamp. I just tried to go there and give a talk, and I just loved it. And people started to ask questions, and I saw this the same fire in their eyes, the same will to learn, the same thing I had just a while ago, and to share this knowledge is just that's what kept me going. It's amazing.
That's actually nice. And also, how was your second Microsoft Azure MVP journey? Was it something you were expecting that you would be easily be getting, or was it difficult for you to get the second MVP batch?
So the first one is obviously the hardest one. The second, yes, the second one, I kept contributing, and to be honest, I wasn't sure I'm gonna get the second year as well. Um, that was a very pleasant surprise for me, to be honest. I just kept posting few things, and I had a meetup that me and a friend of mine we ran together, and um, I didn't even think that I contributed enough, but turns out I did. So I'm glad.
Exactly. Like sometimes we feel like, yeah, we are contributing less, but actually we are contributing a lot to the community. I can totally understand that. Also, would be happy to understand the domain in which you are currently contributing a lot from past more than 5 years.
Oh, I don't think it was more than 5 years. Again, the first things that I was contributing on was Azure, different Azure services. So lately it was all over the place. Everything that I could find interesting and Azure related. So I came from like cognitive services and just a little bit of maybe IoT services in Azure, all the way to serverless computing and serverless websites and everything between them. Different Azure services that connect everything, like Azure messaging services. So yeah, I don't think there is a specific domain that I focus. Just managed resources, I guess.
So it's like working on various services at the same time, various domains, exploring like various domains day by day and checking out what's going on and how and what's trending as well.
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
That's actually nice. And also, according to you, how a person should actually get started with their Azure journey? Like, should there be any roadmap available, or should they just go with which domain they love? What's your take on this?
Uh, my advice always have been and probably will be for the near future is to think about a POC, a system, something that you think you can develop. Um, and obviously it should have like a backend component to it. And based on that idea, try to achieve it using Azure. And it will be super hard at the beginning, but once, as I said, once something's clicked in the brain and you start to figure things out and understand how things work, it will just flow from there, and the possibilities then just becomes limitless.
Actually, this advice was something like the people out there might be looking for. That's actually a great thing that you just shared with us. And moving further with this podcast, I would be happy to understand one more thing from you that, like, in this you like your experience have been more than 5 years with the Microsoft Azure. So which was your favorite experience that have happened? It can be offline, it can be online. That was something that you have like in your heart every time.
This is actually a story I really like, and every time someone asks me, I tell about it. So we had, I was working at a consulting company, and we, a client came to us to work on an IoT system that sent very large amount of messages, like really large amount of messages. And at first, it was something small that we just configured and put it on the cloud. Um, but then, the more we scaled and the more devices were connected, we ended up doing a stress test with a real life scenario. But instead of actual devices, we used virtual machines that were sending those messages. And we ended up sending, if I recall correctly, about 300,000 messages every second. And this from like many VMs that were up in the cloud, and everything was basically sent to the same place, to Azure IoT Hub, and we had to process everything and provide the client with information within 2 seconds. And at first, when we just started, it was so mind-blowing, and we couldn't figure out why and how and what can we even do about it. But um, we compressed messages, we sent it in batches, um, and the IoT hub scaled amazingly. It was something that blew my mind. It blew the mind of our architect at the time, who had many more experience in Azure than me, and it just worked. Yes, we had to do some tweaks. Yes, had to do some optimizations, but eventually we got there. About 300,000 messages every second, and this less than 2 seconds delay for every message to show in the client and to aggregate the data. It was really amazing.
This experience was too good. I can totally feel from just hearing. I can understand that how amazing it was for you.
Yeah.
That's so good to hear that. Also, this is one thing that usually happen with not only students but also with the professionals who might be watching this, that at one particular time you feel like quitting. So, what you would be like what you used to do when you feel like quitting, or what is that one thing you would say on this particular thing of quitting?
It crossed my mind, obviously, many times, like for everyone else. Um, I think it's very, very personal because everyone probably will find their own way to keep going. What I found that helped me a lot of times is to stop for a second and develop something of my own. It doesn't have to be something that you actually publish or something that later on going to use at work or something, but just to develop something that you find interesting, just to get your hands dirty and learn something new and amazing. Um, for me, that's what kept me going even when I felt like quitting. So I hope it helps someone too.
Exactly, that would actually help a lot of people out there, obviously. And this is apart from this, I would be happy to know more about your company and what they are doing currently. And is Azure helping you? How is it?
So what we are doing is we are providing a coaching platform um, for coaches. We have some coaches that coach people at companies, and they basically the whole idea is that instead of coaching the upper level management, we go lower and coach people on a lower level, which provides us some more information about the company and what the problems that the company might be. And then we can also solve it because we're already coaching the people. Now, it sounds fun and great, but the fact that you're going lower on the management level, it means that you need to scale this up. So you cannot do coaching one on one as it used to be. And the system we are providing is basically doing it using text based message, right? Text based system that allows coaches to go and text to their users and coach them. Um, with that being said, we need our system to be as scalable as possible. Because we're going lower on the management level, we have much more users to coach, and coaches need to be able to provide their coaching expertise to many, many more users. Um, so first of all, Azure helps us to scale this up, right? So once we go serverless, we are currently setting up our serverless computing, and once we go completely serverless, the scaling should not be a problem on the technical level. Now, if we go um, to what we understand would be the best way to, and I will use very large quote marks here, to scale our coaches, which is obviously impossible because they're people, and part of coaching experience is talking to a person. But we would like to help our coaches to answer faster. So we are integrating AI to our systems. So we are integrating some emotional analysis to the text to to fill the gap between, like, when you're talking on a video or person to person, you have a lot of emotions going between the two people, and once you move everything to text based, you lose it. So we fill the gap with emotional analysis of the text, and we are also in the process of utilizing OpenAI, which Microsoft recently started contributing quite a lot to actually use it to help our coaches better answer our users and to keep the conversation going using this AI.
That feels so good to hear about your company. They are actually doing amazing work, I would say. Like working on this is something that is very much needed and truly amazing at the same time. That's too good to hear that.
Thank
Now,
you.
yeah. Now, before concluding, this is one thing I would be happy to ask you is like you might as you shared that you have done various offline events as well. So in that case, like how what was your favorite offline memory with Azure that you would love to share before concluding this?
um, Offline, you mean like on an event or at work?
Exactly, like on event, like
Event.
you might have met someone that you have been known from so many years, or a mentor, or
Ah.
anything that you would be happy to share.
I think one of the nicest ideas was that I was invited, well, before COVID and the whole mess of going virtual. I was invited to speak at Kiev's .NET Fest. I think it's, yeah, .NET Fest. It's called. It was in Ukraine, which is, it's my home country. So it was very nice to visit my home country and do it based on the fact that I was invited to give a speech there. And the amount of people that I met there that were that liked .NET, that liked Azure, which was my .NET was my domain at the time. Um, it was great. I met product manager from Microsoft there, which was like very surreal for me, because, like, you see this person online on Twitter or something, suddenly you see her, and she speaks with everyone, and um, I don't know. It felt, it became very real very fast. These connections you make, these amazing people you meet that share your passion to share the knowledge and share your passion to make things, amazing things on Azure. And I don't think it can be done without actually going and sharing your own experience and sharing your own knowledge on Azure. Only then you can actually meet those people.
That was so heart touching for me at the same time because, like offline events and this knowledge and meetups feels too good to meet people and to understand them more. And thanks a lot for joining in today because it was truly an amazing podcast. We understood a lot from you about your Azure experiences, about your Azure journey at the same time. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we would be happy to have you with us with some other session super soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. I'll be glad to join back again.
Yeah, great. Have a great day.
You too.